nationality?
Yeah, Mexican.
You're Mexican, right? Can you find Mexican in the Bible?
Yeah.
You can find Mexican in the Bible?
Wow. No.
Yeah, I'm asking you. I'm asking you.
There wasn't like race like that.
There was no race in the Bible?
There was, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not.
Oh, so you don't know. So there was race in the Bible, but you don't know if Mexicans in the Bible. Let me ask you, Hispanic.
I don't think the word Mexican would be in it.
Okay, I agree with you. What about Hispanic?
Yeah, probably.
Hispanic in the Bible?
Maybe.
Yes or no?
I don't know.
You don't know. You don't know, right? The point is, give me Isaiah 1 and 3. I'm asking you because you call yourself a Mexican. Where did the term Mexican come from?
Yeah, you got me, bro.
Where did Hispanic come from?
Nowhere. White people.
Well, yeah, well, it came from the oppressor. It came from the white man. Specifically, the conquistadors. When the conquistadors came in the 1400s, guess what? They started calling you Mexican.
Right.
They start calling you Hispanic because they came from Spain. Hispanic means property of Spain.
Right.
So every time you fill out your job application, or you in school? Are you in school?
No.
No. All right, fine. You know when you were in school and you would take the state test and you got to put your ethnicity and stuff? It'll say Hispanic, right? Yeah. Hispanic means property of Spain. Why? Because them white dudes came and conquered you and made you their property. Made you, all your resources go to them now.
Right.
Everything you earn goes to another nation of people. That's in the Bible, and we're going to read it, right? We're going to show you. You go to church at all?
No.
You don't go to church? Why not?
It's not a church person.
You're not a church person? You don't believe in God, or you just don't like going to church?
I just don't like going to church.
Okay, do you believe in God?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so let's see what God said about us. Read.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 1, verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner.
So the ox knoweth his owner, meaning he could be all the way in another state. If the owner comes looking for him, the ox is going to run to that owner because he knows who his owner is. Read.
And the ass his master's crib.
An ass is a donkey. A donkey, you can take him far away from his homeland. And guess what? He's going to come right back to where he's supposed to be at. Right? But read on.
But Israel.
But who?
But Israel.
The 12 tribes of Israel, you see on this side right here, on this chart. Come a little closer if you can't see. Look at the people on here.
Yeah.
Right? You see Black, African American, Mexican, Argentinian, Chileans, Puerto Ricans. It says, but Israel, read.
Doeth not know.
So you don't even know. What's your name?
Israel.
Israel. Oh, your name is Israel. He said, read that part again.
But Israel.
But who?
But Israel.
Bro, your name is Israel. You come from the nation of Israel. Read.
Doeth not know.
Wow. Your name is Israel, but you don't even know you are Israelites.
That's right.
That's crazy. That's an astonishment. Why don't you know you Israel?
I don't really pay attention on that.
You don't pay attention? Okay, that's an honest answer. You don't really pay attention. Guess what? At one point in time, none of us knew we were the Israelites according to the Bible.
Right.
Deuteronomy 28:15. This is the reason why we don't know who we are. Because if you know who you are, you would know what you're supposed to be doing. You would have a purpose. You would look around. You wouldn't look around other blacks and Hispanics like they're my enemies. You would look at them like, those are my brothers. Those are my sisters. I got to help them. Because America teaches you, you should be an individual. Do what you want to do as long as it pleases you and you good, you fine, you good. Don't worry about nobody else. America teaches us an individual lifestyle. Christianity teaches you the same thing. American Christianity is the same coin, the two sides of the same coin.
Right.
Right? Read that.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15.
You know anything about Moses?
A little bit.
What do you know about Moses? No, you can just tell me what you know about him. It's all good. Hey, I didn't know about the Bible at all.
I know a little bit, but I just don't remember.
Okay, so Moses was an Israelite. God used Moses to free the 12 tribes of Israel out of Egypt.
Yeah, oh, he's the one who...
Yes, you part of the Red Sea, right? He helped. He came from the nation of Israel. God used Moses to save us from captivity because in Egypt, guess what we was doing in Egypt? What was the Israelites doing in Egypt?
We're just slaves or something.
We were slaves. We were rebuilding.
Pyramids.
The what?
The pyramids.
The pyramids, right? Okay, cool. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So right here, Israel, Moses is speaking to the Israelites after we crossed the Red Sea. He's like, listen, don't think y'all gonna be here if you leave Egypt. Y'all gonna do whatever y'all want. If y'all don't keep God's laws and commandments, I'm gonna put curses. God is gonna put curses on you. Right. Now, is a curse a good or a bad thing? It's a bad thing, right? Look at this sign right here. What is this? What is this?
Slavery.
Slavery. And you can agree that this happened to your people, right?
Yeah.
Now, is that written in the Bible? No?
Well,
All right, we're going to see. We're going to see.
I don't know.
Verse 48. What's on his wrist? What's on the neck? What's on the wrist? What do they got on here? Huh? A rope, right? And it's a form of what? Like what? What do they use today to capture us or to put us in jail or whatever? What do they use? Like chains, handcuffs, right? Right? Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore shall thou...
No. Start at verse 47.
Verse 47. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God.
Because remember, Moses just told the Israelites, if you guys don't keep God's laws and commandments, I'm going to put you in curse. Right? What do you think we decided to do? Not listen, right? So read it again.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things.
Guess what? God just freed us out of the land of captivity. We was serving hard bondage. We was building up the pyramids. We was doing that. They was whipping us on our back. They was doing all manners of evil to us. But God just saved us. But guess what? This is how we turn around and treated God. We're like, God, we didn't want to keep your commandments. He's like, all right, fine. You don't want to keep my commandments? God was going to give us everything. We were supposed to rule this earth. We were supposed to be, who rules the earth today? White people. The so-called white man, who's the devil according to the Bible, they rule the earth today. God said you were supposed to be in that spot, Israel. You and your people were supposed to tell everybody what to do, according to God's laws and commandments. But we didn't want to listen. Read.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger.
So God said we're going to have to serve our enemies in hunger. If you're hungry or you want to go to the grocery store to buy foods for your house, where do you go? Where, Big Lots?
No, the food land over there.
You go to the food store. Is it owned by Mexicans or Hispanics or black people?
Arabics.
Huh?
Arabics.
Is it run by Arabics?
Yeah.
Guess what? Those are not our people. God said you're going to go to another nation of people for hunger. Read it from the top again.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
So who are the Arabs to us? Our enemies, good. The Arabs are our enemies. They're not our people. Read.
Which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in the want of all things.
If you want water, if you want clothes, if you want anything, a driver's license, who do you got to go to?
DMV.
The DMV. Who owns the DMV?
White people.
White people. So guess what? Is the Bible a true book? Is the Bible telling us what we're going through today? No?
Oh, well, yeah, but in different words.
And in different words. Guess what? They used certain words back then to explain it. Right now, we got to break it down and use certain words that we understand and familiar with to understand that this Bible is a true book. This Bible is actually our history, and it's going to tell you, Israel, that you are Israelite from the tribe of, what? You Mexican? You from the tribe of Issachar.
That's right.
You're not a Mexican. You're not a Latino. You're not a Hispanic.
Right.
You're an Israelite. And with that comes with great responsibility. Genesis 32:28. Right? What does it mean? What does your name mean? You ever ask your parents, why you name it Israel? Now you never asked that? I'm going to show you what your name means in the Bible. What God gave you, right? It's better than anything. It's better than being a Mexican, a Hispanic, an American. It's better than all that. Read that.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 32, verse 28. And he said, thy name shall be no more called Jacob.
So Jacob is the father of these 12 tribes you see here. Jacob is the father, right? But his name was changed to Israel. God changed his name to Israel. Read.
But Israel, for as a prince hast thou power with God and with men.
So God said your name is Israel. Why? Because you are a prince with the power of God and with man. Do you got power right now? No. You know why? Because we ain't keeping God's laws and commandments. We ain't living up to the name that God gave us. We are not living up to the name that God gave us. If we kept God's laws and commandments, guess what? We would have the power over all the nations who enslaved us. Right? So if we broke God's laws and commandments as a nation of people, what do you think we should be doing now?
Trying to follow them, man.
Try to follow God's laws and commandments. It's simple. It's simple. But guess what? In these churches, in the school system, in the political system, on TV, celebrities, guess what? They don't teach us that. They don't teach you that you're an Israelite, and they don't teach you got to keep God's laws and commandments.
Right.
In fact, they teach you everything contrary.
Right.
They say the Israelites don't exist no more, and they say you don't got to keep the laws and commandments. They say Jesus said we only got to keep the laws and commandments, right? But God said he got to keep the laws and commandments. Give me that in Revelation 22:14, right? Because you want eternal life? You want eternal life?
What is that?
You don't know what eternal life is? What happens? Okay, if you die today, what's going to happen? Nothing? You don't think nothing's gonna happen?
My family, maybe? A little funeral or something?
No. What's gonna happen with you?
I don't know.
You don't know. Revelation 20, verse 11. I'm gonna show you, because our people, we don't understand that there's life after this life that we live in presently. There's another life after this. We're gonna stand in front of Christ, and he's gonna judge us based on what we did in this earth. If you kept his laws and commandments, or if you didn't. Right? Read that.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 20 and verse 11. And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away.
So this is talking about Christ, right? Christ is sitting on the throne. When we die, or some of us are not, all of us are not going to die before Christ come back. But we all going to get, and we all going to have to stand in front of Jesus Christ, and we're going to have to give account on our lives, right? Read.
And there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God.
So all of us are going to stand before God. Read.
And the books were open. And another book was open.
So the books is talking about there's a book everywhere. Each and one of us have a book. There's angels we cannot see that is taking right. They're saying, this is what Israel did. You did this today. Oh, you did that again today. Oh, you're doing it again. Okay, cool. Oh, today I sent him to the prophets. Okay, he's going to learn who he is. He's going to learn that he's supposed to keep the commandments. We're going to figure out what he's going to do. They're writing there's a record on your life. And when we see God, right, he's going to have your book open. And then what else?
And another book was open.
And the other book is this Bible. Because this Bible tells us what we're supposed to be doing. He's going to line it up. He's going to compare the Bible with your book. Read.
And another book was open, which is the book of life.
The book of the life is the book with the commandments in it, with your history in it, the Bible. Read.
And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works.
So you're going to be judged according to your works, if you kept the commandments or not. Because right now that you know you're an Israelite, now that you know you got to keep the commandments, you have no more excuse.
Right.
If you died, you can't say, I didn't know. Because God sent us the prophets to teach our people who they are according to the Bible and warn them that if you don't keep the commandments, you're going to die.
Right.
Read.
Verse 13. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. And they were judged, every man according to their works. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire.
So guess what? Those whose books was not according to the Bible, right? They were going against God's laws and commandments. Guess where they're going? They're going to have eternal death in hell. You're going to burn forever.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.